All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WBJ's presentation of This Week in Cyclone Football with Coach Ryan Witten. Coach Witten, T.A. Duggar just continues to roll through that schedule you've got. Give us a recap of the past week and also what we've got to look forward to this week.
Yeah, so we beat Liberty Bell both games. Varsity won 36-0, and then JV won 8-0. So played Liberty Bell, so obviously big time rival. Johnson City Elizabeth, they came here, huge crowd. Betsy Band was playing. Cheerleaders were rolling, so it was great for our kids to play in a big environment and gives them something to look forward to as they move forward to the future. So hats off to our Cyclone Nation again for coming out and supporting our young men and our football team. But we threw the ball really well. We had a couple behind the chains a couple times, so we had to throw the ball, which is not really what we want to do. We really want to run the football, but Bryson Blenn's our quarterback, hit Ryan Jones and Aldo Cordell for some big gains, and he just kept rolling and rolling. They kept giving us that all night, so I think Legend got on the board with a couple carries in the end zone. But our passing game was going, and our defense has been stellar all season long. Coach Pittman, Coach Cujo, Coach Fox have had those guys tackling and flying to the ball. Liberty Bell came out and empty, tried doing some quarterback draws, and I just told them they're not going to beat us doing quarterback draws. So we're pretty stout up front, and it's exciting to see. We played 6 games, and 4 out of the 6 have been shutouts. So it's been pretty awesome to see.
How many points have you scored?
It's 238-12.
238-12.
Yeah.
All right. Who have you got this week?
Yeah. So we go to Greenville. Going to run into obviously the rivalry that's been built. Elizabeth and Greenville. It's thick like that in the middle school. They're undefeated. They're 6-0. They got a lot of things going on there. The young man that just lost his life, but they want to play. It's going to be it's 8th grade night down there. It's going to be a huge crowd. I told our kids today, in the last 7-8 seasons, every time there's been a big game, it's been Elizabeth in it. Whether it's Elizabeth and Science Seal at ETSU, or Elizabeth and Boone, or Elizabeth and Domus Bennett, Elizabeth and Greenville, Anderson County. So this gets them right. This is why we do what we do, is for this opportunity on tomorrow night.
And you look at T.A. Duggar Greenville, Elizabeth and Greenville.
Yeah.
It's always that rival. It's always them two schools that come together, and they seem to compete year in, year out for it.
Yeah, and I think each program makes us each better. Michigan, Ohio State, Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn. So I just think that's each one of us. When you look in the off season, who's doing what? It's always Elizabeth and Greenville. So and it filters all the way to the 6th graders. So it'll be both teams are undefeated, and both JV and varsity teams play down there. They're going to play the JV game first, so we're going to get a late kickoff about 8 o'clock. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a long day tomorrow, but our kids are up for it. We've had a great week of practice, so we're excited to go down there and get on the field. It'd be real easy for Greenville just to wave the flag and say, hey, we got other things going on, but it's a game, and they want to play just as bad as we do, and they'll be ready. They're going to smack us in the mouth a little bit, but it's about the next play and moving on, and hopefully we're the toughest team when the bell goes off.
And before we go any further, we got to send our condolences to the family that the young man lost his life. Anytime it's sad, but it's really sad and heartbreaking when they're 12-year-old, right at the young prime of life. And where our thoughts and prayers go out to them as much as they're rivals on the field. Football brings both groups together, so it's one big, huge family. Yeah,
and our program did a donation last Thursday to the family. So anything we can do outside of the game, we're willing to do. But it'll be a big crowd. They're going to have 8th grade night, so a lot of those guys have been playing each other for a long time in multiple sports, so real familiar with each other, and we'll get after it.
Now let's flip over and talk about Saturday. Junior Cyclone had another good week this last week. Yeah,
but I think 4 out of the 5 teams won, so it's really good. We have 3 undefeated teams. 3 teams will probably most likely they finish this week, and then I think that most of them have a bye next week. They can come finish as the 1 seed. So a lot of kids winding down their season, a lot of cheerleaders and football players, whether they make the playoffs or not, in the next 2 or 3 weeks it'll be over. But we had a great season. A lot of kids getting better. the flag athletes are going to transition to start doing some tackling, so they'll be ready to go next season. So we're excited about the future of our program.
You know, hats off, second year you've run this program. It just seemed like from last year to this year was leaps and bounds different.
It is, and hats off to Coach Witten for being there and being involved. Very few head coaches are involved as he is, and then it just goes to show you, like Terrence Turner, Cujo, myself, Brandon Blevins. I mean, all the guys that are doing stuff on Friday nights, or Travis Hurley at the elementary schools are doing the same through the middle and elementary. So it's exciting to see, and it's good as the kids are getting better. They're learning the right techniques, and hopefully it'll pay off in the future.
One thing before we go, let's talk a little bit about your camp this past Saturday. Tell our listeners how that went.
Yeah, it's a Dream Team Adaptive Camp for athletes with diverse abilities. So it went awesome. 52 athletes participated. Just Colton Forrest did an amazing job getting all the staff and everybody there. But it was so much fun. It was the highlight of the day was just kids tackling and throwing passes and scoring touchdowns, and all the volunteers and staff and coaches did an amazing job to make that day special. So we look forward to keep growing and doing other activities for that community.
That's going to do it for this week in Cyclone Football with Coach Ryan Witten. Coach Witten, we thank you for what you do on Thursday nights. We thank you for what you do on Saturdays and certainly on Friday nights. But the camp that you did for those children that would not otherwise have the opportunity to do that, that shows your character and integrity. That's very much appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our halftime tonight. When we come back, Tony and I will have the all-important second half as your Elizabethan Cyclones travel to Kingsport to take on the Dobyns Bennett Indians. We'll be back with your second half after these words from our sponsors.